have, Stan? Okay. Kate, can you help him with that?
DJ Dark Child, get the swing.
Check one, check one. 1, 2, 3.
All right, try it now here. Now you need to go to wireless and reconnect to the wireless. Disconnect and reconnect. You can't hear yourself? How about now? Can you hear yourself now? You can hear yourself? Can you hear yourself? Yep. No. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, because like I said, I'm going out. Now you see, you can't hear me, can you? But can you see me? Yeah, you can see my volume over there. Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure. I'm still here.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta, Georgia, the Atlanta Vultures. Ladies and gentlemen, from Atlanta, Georgia, under the direction and coaching of
Welcome to the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Eric Tabor bringing you all of the play-by-play action of your Georgia Firebirds. Want to welcome you all tonight to this special edition, the first ever home broadcast of the Albany Panthers. Want to send a quick shout out as you're enjoying Panther football right now on Rock 103. Want to welcome everybody to the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center as your Georgia Firebirds are getting set to take on the Atlanta Vultures. This is going to be a great contest, ladies and gentlemen. As you've heard, there has been a lot of changes since Sunday's game against the Columbus Lions. One of the first was at head coach. Out goes DJ Daniels. In comes the head man for your Panthers, Antoine Savage. Antoine Savage, an accomplished player both in outdoor and indoor football. He has won championships on all levels. From the NCAA, he helped the Oklahoma Sooners win a national championship. And I want to remind you about that. He's won a national championship there. He has been in the AFL, played with the Dallas Desperados. They've won a championship. He went to the Spokane Shock. He led the Spokane Shock to a championship. He came back to Albany, Georgia, and led an arena team to not one, but two arena championships back to back. So that tells you he is a proven winner, an accomplished player. Now we're going to see if that can relate to how he does as a head coach. They're introducing the player lineups now, and since he's taken over, he's kind of exploded some of the roster. Back is Antointis Cutts, former Albany Panther. Glad to see him back in a Firebird uniform. We've got Agent 00, Isaiah Jupiter, coming out, and we've got the smoke going for your Panther, for your Firebirds. Want to remind everyone that this broadcast is being simulcast. We are also going out on television as well as on Rock 103. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. One of the other changes that the Firebirds have made, they had problems at center last week, so there was a change there. Insert Victor Moley, All-American center from Albany State University, and it's great to have him on the team. That's going to instantly solidify that offensive line. Also, a new offensive line coach has been brought in, Andre Slappy. Those of you who remember the Panthers and the Wildcats will remember Andre Slappy, great offensive lineman, great defensive lineman. In his days at Albany State, he was an All-American defensive end for Albany State University. So that brings indoor experience and also solidifies the line play. Also bringing in as a new coach, Cecil Lester, as well as Mitchell Jenkins. A wealth of indoor experience for your Firebirds. So now we are about ready to kick the tires and light the fires. We're roughly about 8 minutes away from the broadcast. We're going to throw it back to radio control for about 30 seconds for commercial break. You're enjoying Firebird football on Rock 103 on the Firebird Digital Network. Welcome back to the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center as your Georgia Firebirds are getting set to take on the Atlanta Vultures. You're tuning in to the broadcast on Rock 103 FM. I'd like to thank all of our friends at Cumulus Broadcasting for bringing us on the air as we're about to have the invocation, and we're going to throw the mic down and take a listen.
Gracious God, eternal Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us, a day that we've never seen before and we'll never see again. We pray now, Lord God, that you allow your hand of grace and providence to rest upon each and every one of these players. We pray that you protect them, Lord God. Don't let any injuries or undue danger come to them. And now, Lord God, we pray for all those that are gathered in attendance here. And we thank you now because we celebrate this season of the year and time for your resurrection. Father, we pray your blessings upon each and every heart and soul. And we thank you for this opportunity. Bless this city. Bless the leaders of this city and all those that are gathered. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
As we are less than 4 minutes away from kickoff, I am excited as your Georgia Firebirds are getting set to take on the Atlanta Vultures out of that big city somewhere in the northern section of our fair state. I would like to once again thank a lot of our folks who are making this broadcast possible, especially Big Scoop and the folks at Cumulus, as well as the folks at Rock 103. I want to send a shout out to Jackson Riley, who is also handling the PA duties for your Firebirds as we are getting set for the kickoff. I would like to also thank some of our sponsors, also Buffalo Rock Pepsi, Good Life Vapor, 2 Commas, Easy Copy, and the Albany Fish Company. Because without sponsors, we couldn't bring you these kinds of events. And I'd like to thank once again, and I can't say it enough and stress it enough, big shout out and thank you to Rock 103 and Cumulus Broadcasting. We're getting set for a kickoff here as the officials are having the coin toss. And we're waiting to see what the result was as the coin goes in the air. And it looks like the Firebirds have won the toss and have elected to take the football. As now we're very close to the Antoine Savage era for the Georgia Firebirds to begin. And we are just a moment away from kickoff as you're enjoying arena football right here in the Good Life city of Albany, Georgia, as the fans are starting to file into the arena. And Willie Lockett, federal judge, is, I stand corrected, Superior Court judge for Dougherty County, is bringing in the game ball. So this is going to be an exciting day, the first ever regular season home game for the Georgia Firebirds here in the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Once again, Eric Tabor, I'm glad to be bringing you all of the play-by-play, tackle-by-tackle action as we are now 30 seconds away from kickoff. And I can feel the excitement and the tension in this arena right now. I see fans starting to file in as Albany, City of Albany is generally a late crowd. And let's just hope the weather does not affect the turnout. But I want to make sure that everybody is aware that the Panthers will be at home next week. I stand corrected. The Firebirds will be at home next week as they are getting set to take on the Savannah Steam out of Savannah, Georgia. And we've got the buzzer, and we are ready for some rock'em sock'em action. Back deep for the Firebirds is going to be number 15, Rashad Golston, the man out of Florida State University that backed up Albany's own Rashad Green at Florida State. And kicking the ball off for the Vultures. And I'm waiting to see, as we were late getting their rosters, and I don't have any positions, so I do apologize. It's going to be number 15. And I do not have a number 15 on their roster. So we'll just call him Mr. X. The mysterious Mr. X is going to be set to kick this one off. But back deep is going to be Rashad Golston. Are you ready for some football, Are you ready for some football, Firebird fans? Here's the run-up. The kick, high, end over end. Golston takes it about 6 yards deep in the end zone. He comes out. He's to the 5. He's to the 10. Makes a move to the 15, and it's going to be brought down to about the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 on the tackle for the Vultures. It was number 1, and I do not have a number 1 on my roster. Firebirds break huddle and come to the line of scrimmage. Victor Mosley at center. At quarterback is going to be number 17 for the Firebirds. That's going to be Marcus Brooks Sr. Here's the snap. Brooks throws. Golston wide open. Pass is complete. And he's going to pick up positive yards. I'm going to give him about 7 yards on the reception. He goes into Vulture territory. 2nd down and a long 3. And the Antoine Savage era in Albany has begun. Golston once again going to be the high motion man. Brooks under center. One of the changes the Firebirds have made is number 1, the Hammer himself, is going to be at fullback. We got a fumble on the play, and it's going to be recovered by the Firebirds. Brooks was under some duress as the tackle on the play. As you watch the replay, it looked like they were trying to set up the screen, and it looked like Brooks just could not get it off in time because number 58, Derek Lake, was the designated tight end, so it should have been a screen. This time, number 72 for the Firebirds is declared as a tight end. And we've got a timeout by your Firebirds. With that, we're going to take a 30-second break as you're enjoying Firebirds football on the Firebirds Digital Network and Rock 103. We're coming back in. Rock 103 and the Georgia Firebirds Digital Network. We are live at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center as your Firebirds are on the move right now after the strip sack and fumble, bringing up a 3rd down and now about 8. Brooks calling out the signals. High motion man is Antoine Cuts. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. Passes almost intercepted. Intended for Rashad Golston. Breaking up the pass was number 8, Clarence Brown. If you watch the replay, for those of you who are tuning in on the Firebirds TV network, Brooks drops back. He sees Golston right there, but the linebacker was right underneath there, almost coming away with the interception. Fortunate break for your Firebirds as it comes down to 4th down, and Antoine Savage is going to go for it. 4th and 8. for your Firebirds. 12:15 to go in the first quarter. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. He's going over the top. He's got Antoine. His cut's just a little too tall. Incomplete. And it's going to be a turnover on downs. Antoine's cuts was open. And there's another one of those mysterious numbers, number 1. Or is that number 9? If it's number 9, that's Sean Sanders on the coverage. Breaks up the pass, and the Vultures take over on downs. 1st and 10 in Firebird territory at the 22-yard line. So, here we go, 11:18 to go in the first quarter. Firebirds are on defense for the first time. In at quarterback is going to be number 11. He's going to try to throw it out, and pass is complete. Oh, my. Tough break for the Firebirds. As we've got a touchdown, you watch the replay, and the pass was complete. And the Firebirds just could not bring him down. They were trying to make the tackle, but he's able to elude him and go into the end zone to take an early 6-0 lead over your Georgia Firebirds. 10:35 to go in the first quarter. A tough break as the Firebirds want to try to make a play. Here's the snap. And we're going to have a flag probably for illegal defense. But the Firebirds are pointing toward the Vultures. They're going to call a delay of game penalty on the Vultures, so they're going to retry it. The ball is going to come out to the 7-yard line. 9:55 clock running to go in the first quarter. And the Firebirds have dug themselves into an early 6-0 hole as the Vultures are going to go for 2 here. They've got a trips formation. Here's the snap. Quarterback is under some duress. He's going to go down for a sack. Give the sack to number 11. As you watch the replay, you're going to see the Firebirds are going to make a move here. And that was Ramon Twin Morrow coming through there almost untouched to deny the extra point. So it still stands at 6-0, a great defensive stand for your Firebirds. Back deep in the end zone is Rashad Golston, and I am looking forward to him breaking one tonight. And for those of you who don't know who Rashad Golston is, he was the backup to Rashad Green of Albany, Georgia, who is now with the Jacksonville Jaguars. We've got a big announcement as far as player signings coming up at halftime. So you guys stick and stay. I've got some news from some other players that will be coming on board. So stay tuned. The Vultures set to tee it up to kick it off. Mr. X, the run up and the kick high end over end. Golston is going to take it about 8 yards deep in the back of the end zone. He comes out, he's to the 5, he's to the 10, he's got a lane, he's to the 15, he's to the 20, he's to the 25, he's to the 20. Inside the 20-yard line to about the 18. Rashad Golston, and he shows you that Florida State speed. A great return, and now that can set the tone. As you watch the replay, Golston is going to take it. He sees a lane, and he accelerates, and this is what you have to do in arena football. When you see the lane, you cannot hesitate. You just explode, and that's what happened. So he got some positive yards. 1st and 10 for your Firebirds. Brooks calling out the signals. Agent Zero's coming in circle motion into a trips formation. Brooks is going to throw it over the top. He had Agent Zero open just a little too tall, and it's a questionable call whether or not that should have been pass interference, but either way, ball is incomplete now. That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10, spotting the ball on the 17-yard line for your Georgia Firebirds. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is Ghost, and they're going to give it to the fullback, and that's going to be the hammer, and that is number 1 for your Georgia Firebirds, Zach Brown. And if we're looking at the replay, I call him the hammer, but some people call him the hitman, and he sees the lane, and he just is delivering punishment at fullback. And it's good to see that kind of rough and tough running in this league, because you know the arena football game is a passing league. Brooks once again under center. And the Firebirds are going to take a timeout with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the first quarter, trailing 6-0. We've got a whale of a ball game. We're going to go to a media timeout, so we're going to throw it back to radio control for a quick commercial break as you're enjoying Firebird football on Rock 103 on the Georgia Firebirds Digital Network. Football for the first time in 3 years at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Eric Tabor bringing you all of the play-by-play action this season for your Georgia Firebirds. As the Firebirds come to the line of scrimmage, Brooks under center. High motion man is going to be Agent Zero, Isaiah Jupiter. Into the trips formation. Here's a snap, quick screen out to Golston. Golston makes a move. He's inside the 10, inside the 5-yard line. Guess what that's going to give him? A Good Life Vapor first down. So it's great to see that screen game coming to life for your Georgia Firebirds. 7:05 to go in the quarter. Firebirds are on the move. Brooks once again under center. High motion man again will be Agent Zero coming into the trips formation. Here's the snap. They're going to give it to the fullback, the hitman, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage. Give him maybe a half-yard on the play. You're going to watch the replay for those of you viewing it for Firebird TV. And you've got some good moves as Zach Brown is showing you that he belongs in this league. He was the MAC linebacker last week. They moved him to fullback for the game tonight. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is going to be Golston. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, throws. Wow. That was almost disaster. Number 8. Clarence Brown, watch the replay here. As Brown read it, he had the inside position. He saw it coming, steps up and knocks the ball away. If Brooks would have led him outside further, that should have been 6. It's 3rd and goal for your Firebirds. Brooks once again under center. High motion man's going to be Golston. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits, throws it into the end zone. Intended for Agent 0, but just a little too tall. It's going to bring up a 4th down. And it's decision time for Coach Savage. And they're going to go. 5:10 to go in the quarter as the Firebirds want to try to get a score here to knot this game up at 6. And the crowd's starting to get into it a little bit here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Brooks under center. High motion man's going to be Golston. Here's the snap. They're going to give it out to the hit man. He looks like he's in, and he is. The officials say touchdown Firebirds. And the Firebirds are on the scoreboard and have a chance right now to take the lead with 4:36 remaining. You've got to give credit where credit is due. Antoine Savage brought Zach, the hitman Brown, I want to call him the Hammer, moved him from Mac linebacker to fullback, and he hammered that thing in this time for a touchdown. Your Firebirds are getting set to take the lead here. Here's the snap, the place down. Kick is up, and it's going to be no good. We are tied up 6 points apiece with 4:15 to go in the first quarter. We've got a ball game. I hope you're enjoying all of the excitement, the play-by-play in the atmosphere. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center, you are missing a thrill. The excitement here is electric. The fans here are excited. Frankie, the Firebird, is shaking his tail feather. So if you have not been out to see an arena football game, folks, this is the most fan-friendly and the best environment in town to be in. Also want to remind everybody about the Pepsi 4-pack. And that is, you can buy 4 tickets for a great price. If you go by the Civic Center box office and tell them you want the Pepsi 4-pack, they're going to hook you up. We're getting set to tee it off as your Georgia Firebirds have it all knotted up at 6 apiece with 4:15 to go in the first quarter. And you hear Jackson Riley in the background trying to get the fans back into it. We've got a good crowd here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center, even though we have some fisticuff weather outside, a little bit of thunder boomers and a little bit of rain, but that doesn't deter a lot of our fans. You know who your diehard fans are when the weather is bad and when your team's down. And the Firebirds, as the name infers, are going to rise from the ashes tonight. 4:15 to go. And we're set. Here's the run-up and the kick high, end over end. That's going to be returnable. He's going to take it 4 yards deep in the end zone. He's to the 5, he's to the 10, and is going to be met and brought down around the 17-yard line. If you watch the replay, for those of you tuning in or watching it on TV, Pat Riley takes the return here. He finds a little bit of a lane, but is met immediately by the Firebirds and brought down. Ball is spotted on the 17. Andre Slappy, defensive coach, is out calling the defense for your Firebirds. Telford Chapman, quarterback, drops back, waits. He's going over the top. Looks like it's going to be an easy interception, and it is. Number 7, he's to the 5, to the 10, to the 15, and it's going to be brought down at the 15. Antoine Cuts making his presence known in Albany, Georgia. As you watch, Cuts was playing center field, and he was right there. Johnny on the spot, picking up the interception, making a move, and showing you why they call him the man. Ball's going to be spotted at the 15-yard line. First down and 10 for your Firebirds. Brooks once again going to go under center. The high motion man is going to be Isaiah Jupiter coming into circle motion into a trips formation. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. He's going over the top. He's got Isaiah Jupiter knocked away at the last second, incomplete. Second down, and it was a great play. Isaiah Jupiter was open for just a moment as Brooks drops back, waits, looks, he throws it over the top. If he would have put just maybe another inch or two of air underneath that football, that might have been 6. That just makes it an incompletion, a long incompletion, and a second down for your Firebirds. Brooks once again under center. High motion man this time is going to be number 15, Rashad Golston. Play clock at 14. Here's the snap. Quick screen is going to be out, and the officials say incomplete pass. And the Vultures coaching staff is having words with the officiating crew, but the officiating crew says, no, sir, incomplete. And the Firebirds dodge a bullet as it's now third down and 10. Spot the ball at the 15-yard line after the interception. The Firebirds tried to go for it all right after the turnover, but it was just short as Brooks now comes under center. Play clock down to 10. Number 0, Isaiah Jupiter comes into circle motion into a trips formation. Drop back, throws the screen, passes completely to Hitman. He's to the 20, to the 25, to the 15. Down inside the 15, spot him at the 10. A great play call by the Firebirds. If you watch the replay, everybody was coming, and the fullback slips out in the open, wide open for the first down. And when you get the ball to Zach Brown and he's got a full head of steam, don't stand on the railroad tracks when the train comes through. And we're under 1 minute to go in the first quarter as Brooks once again goes under center, and we are seeing a much improved team tonight. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He's going to throw a screen. It's going to go out of bounds into the stands, and that's a fan souvenir ball. And you had a gentleman who just sat there, and the ball could have been his, but folks, that's the fun thing about arena football is that if a ball goes in the stands, it's a fan souvenir. But with the Firebirds, we had a couple of stipulations. One of them is if the ball is kicked into the end zone, it must be returned. But if it's thrown in the end zone, the fans have a souvenir. And that's going to bring you to a close. The first stanza of the Firebirds home football game. The score, Georgia 6, Atlanta 6. And I want to remind you, we're going to take a break as you're enjoying Georgia Firebird football on the Georgia Firebirds Digital Network on Rock 103. Welcome back to the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center Eric Tabor bringing you all the play-by-play action of your Georgia Firebirds. As we switch sides of the field, the Firebirds have possession of the football now. We're going right to left on your radio dial as Brooks once again comes under center as the clock is starting to run with 14:50 to go in the half. Agent Zero comes in circle motion. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He's under some duress. Looks, throws in the back of the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. Your Firebirds score. Complete pass to number 0, Agent Zero. Watch him here as he comes in circle motion. He makes a dip outside, and dippity-doo, he swings it back and goes to the corner of the end zone, put the ball only where your guy can get it, catches him in man coverage. Guess what? It's a Firebirds touchdown as your Georgia Firebirds take the lead 12-6 as the PA attempt is about to happen. Here's the snap, the place down. And it's going to be blocked. And the ball is going to be recovered by the Firebirds. PA attempt is no good. The score remains Georgia 12, Atlanta 6. Tough break for your Georgia Firebirds on that PAT attempt. However, the positive thing is the Firebirds have a lead. I'm excited to bring you all the action this season of Georgia Firebird football. Next week we'll be back right here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. We've got a decent crowd, but there's still some people coming in, and it's still not too late to come out. If you haven't got your tickets or your season tickets, you need to swing by the Civic Center box office and pick up your season tickets. Your Georgia Firebirds are in love with the city of Albany. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning into the broadcast and hope that you'll continue to do so this season as your Firebirds are trying to compete for an AIF League championship. We are ready right now to begin again. Firebirds set to kick this one off. Double return team back for the Vultures. Here's the kick, high, end over end. Ball's going to go to the back of the end zone. It's returnable out to the 5, to the 10, and he's going to be brought down about the 12-yard line. Number 26. As you watch the replay, he jumps to make the catch, and Alexander McCray is trying to make a move and make a play for his Vultures, but the Firebirds say nothing doing as Dominique Rich makes the tackle. 13-11 to go in the quarter. And your Firebirds are ready to set this place ablaze. And the play clock expires to 0, so we're going to get they're going to call delay of game on Telford Chapman, the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. That's going to bring up a first down and 15 for the Vultures. Chapman going under center. He's got motion. He's going to throw underneath. Pass is complete. And he's going to be wrapped up and met immediately by a host of Firebirds led by Mike Johnson. As this Firebird defense is starting to swarm a little bit, they've got one turnover already. We watch, and the Firebirds are coming out hitting people. They are laying some leather out there. As the clock continues to run, 12-13 to go. Chapman under center. High motion man is Lightbert. He's under some duress. He's going to throw. Pass is complete to Lightford, and it's going to be good for a Vulture first down, as I think some of the formations, as you watch Lightford was the motion man. He comes underneath, makes the reception. It's going to be brought down by Cuts. It was decent coverage, but it looked like one of those back shoulder throws for him to pick up the first down. Chapman once again under center. High motion man is Mofa. We got a tackle on the play. That looked like a sack. And that was number 54, Quintod Barney, with the sack. And that's the first sack of the season for your Firebirds. With 10:55 to go, that Firebird defense, like I said, is starting to catch a blaze. Chapman once again going to come under center. High motion man is going to be number 15, and he's going to be met. And there were big hits all the way around, and the officials are going to flag number 27 for the Firebirds. We're going to wait for the official call, but on the replay, Chapman was under some duress, and he was brought down immediately, but he found his receiver. And I'm wondering if they're going to call a helmet-to-helmet, but that really wasn't a helmet-to-helmet call. You know, I don't know what they can call that. And that was a questionable call by the officials, a helmet-to-helmet, because I was thinking on the replay, it looked like he was, aiming for the chest, and that was one of those rules that you talk about in football. As Chapman once again is under center. High motion man's going to be number 3. Here's the snap. Chapman's going to give it to the fullback. Fullback is going to make a move and dance into the end zone to tie this football game up. And the Vultures are going to go for 2. Firebirds defense couldn't get a stop there as it's all tied up with 9:43 to go in the half. And I also would like to remind all of you Firebird fans that next Saturday your Firebirds will be back in Albany, Georgia to take on the Savannah Steam. They've got a stack formation, an interesting call in arena football. Chapman drops back, he throws it in the back of the end zone, and the receiver's wide open. As it had to have been a busted coverage because we had 2 Firebirds defenders on the other side of the end zone on that stack formation. Tough break for the Firebirds. 9:05 to go in the quarter. The Vultures now lead 14-12. And let's see if this offense can go ahead and rack up some more points. I want to remind everyone once again that the Firebirds will be in Albany, Georgia next Saturday as they take on the Savannah Steam. Tickets are available by visiting the Civic Center box office. We're going to have a media timeout, so we're going to throw it back to radio control and take a timeout ourselves and pay some bills as you're enjoying Firebird football on the Firebirds Digital Network and Rock 103. football, Firebird football on Rock 103 FM as we're enjoying some of the festivities going on right here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Your Panthers trail by 2. We're in the midst of a media timeout, and we've got an interesting concept going on. It's musical chairs, and it's always great to see. Great to see. We've got new promotions, and who would have ever thought about musical chairs as a promotion? And Frankie the Firebird is in it with them as well. And I hope you guys are enjoying some of the bonus coverage as your Firebirds trail by 2. And they're going to get right back in this game. But we've got some great promotion going on. And if you're tuning in to Rock 103, you're missing a treat as Frankie the Firebird is competing with some of the fans in a musical chairs competition. And we're down to the last 3 participants and 2 chairs. And Frankie and 2 fans are still left. And Frankie is still in the competition. And so I guess it would be good to compete against Frankie the Firebird in a musical chairs competition. Wow, and this is always great promotion, and the fans are enjoying this. And I want to remind everybody, as Frankie the Firebird now wins the musical chairs competition, we're live here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. And I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the broadcast, whether you're tuning in on the Firebirds Digital Network or on Rock 103. We want to thank you all for tuning us in. We've got 9:05 to go. If I can recap just a little bit, 9:05 to go in the half. Firebirds trail by 2 as the Vultures went for a 2-point conversion. They succeeded as it looked like a busted coverage by the Firebirds, and we're set for action as we are getting ready to compete. Once again, the Firebirds' regular season, after tonight, we'll still have 4 more home games, but after next week, after the Savannah Steam, your Firebirds will be on the road for 2 weeks. So we'll miss a little bit of that home cooking. Here's the run up and the kick. And it's going to go off of the railing. Ball will come out as the officials are talking. The ball should come out to the 20-yard line. And the officials look a little confused as to where the ball should go. They're going to spot it at the 10. So that's going to bring up a 1st and 10 for your Firebirds. 8:58 to go in the quarter. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is Isaiah Jupiter, circling around in the trips formation. Brooks, pass is complete, and a great juggling catch by Agent Zero as Brooks zeroed in on Agent Zero as he came in circle motion into a trips formation. Agent Zero set down just behind the linebacker, but underneath the defensive back, juggled the ball, but made the reception. Great throw, great catch by the combination of Brooks to Jupiter. Brooks once again, here's a snapback. Brooks drops, has a Golston wide open. Golston makes some movies to the 20, inside the 20. Spot him down at about the 18-yard line. That's good enough for a Firebirds first down. Calling the plays tonight for the Georgia Firebirds, a name known to Albany, Cecil Ice Cold Lester, former quarterback of the Albany Panthers. Now the offensive coach for the Georgia Firebirds. Brooks going to give it to the Hitman. Hitman's going to move forward and move the pile and picks up a couple of yards. The officials say give him a yard on the play. And I think that was a little, that was not enough. I thought he picked up 2. But that's why I'm up here in the broadcast booth and not wearing the stripes. That's going to bring up a second down and 9 for your Firebirds. Clock continuing to run, 6:53 as your Firebirds trail 14-12. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is Golston. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. Pass was underneath. Looked like it was intended for number 27, Dominique Rich. I stand corrected. That pass was intended for number 23. And that was Trayvon Badger. And Trayvon Badger, a.k.a. Jumpman, was the gentleman that was on the ESPN highlight reel for one of the top 10 plays, as well as Fox Sports top 10. Brooks once again under center. High motion is Jumpman. And we got a fumble on the play, and the Firebirds maintain possession. Great heads-up move by Isaiah Jupiter as he saw the ball on the ground, and he showed you he was not afraid to get in that pile and recover that football and take a blow. So it's going to be 4th down for the Firebirds, and the Firebirds are going to try to attempt a field goal with 5:31 remaining in the half. Play clock down to 4. Here's the snap. We've got a fire on the play. The ball is still loose, and it's going to be recovered by the Vultures. Tough break for the Firebirds as they couldn't get a hold of the field goal attempt. Now, I don't know what went wrong there, but the clock is going to stop at 5:06 remaining in the half. Your Firebirds trail by 2 as some of the fans are starting to file into the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. We've got a pretty good, decent crowd here, and I'm always glad to see the fans file in, as you know, weather has prevented several of them from coming out, but I still enjoy seeing fans out for these Firebird games. And an unbelievable catch in the end zone for the Vultures. The Vultures with a little bit of a wheel route. And in the back of the end zone, a great one-handed snag. And now the Vultures go up 20-12, and they're going to go for 2 here. And it was a great throw. And another great catch, possibly another one of those top 10 catches for ESPN. And we're going to get a delay of game penalty. We're going to get another delay of game penalty on the Vultures. But when you're that close into the goal and you're trying to go for 2, in this league, it's not a bad thing. It gives you a little more real estate to maneuver the football. And right there, your Firebirds defense steps up and makes a huge play, led by number 54, Quintod Barney, That's a name you're going to be hearing a lot of this upcoming season, as Coach Savage was real high on this young man. He comes barreling through there to make a play. So the two-point conversion attempt, no good. And your Firebirds will get the football shortly. After that, we're going to take a quick 30-second break, and we'll be back as you're enjoying Firebird football on the Firebirds Digital Network and on Rock 103. Civic Center. We're in the middle of another new great promotion. Who can kick the ball the furthest? And that's one of the things that General Manager Terrence Fowler said he wanted to do this season is give the fans some new promotions, some new things to enjoy and look forward to. We've got a pretty decent crowd here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center, and I'm excited to bring you all of the play-by-play action this season. I'd like for you to stay tuned on Rock 103 and enjoy Firebird football. I hope everybody's enjoying the Firebirds Digital Network. For those of you tuning in around the country, with 3:23 remaining in the half, your Firebirds trail by 8, 20-12. And we need a big play right now. But you've got the man with the plan in the back of the end zone ready to make that big play. Number 15, Rashad Golston. Here's the run-up and kick. It's going to be high end over end. It's going to be returnable. Ball goes to the goal line. Golston takes it. He's to the 5. He's to the 10. He's to the 15. He's to the 20. And it's going to be brought down right at the 20-yard line. A good return by Golston. And they're going to spot him at the 21. And I'm enjoying watching Golston run as he sees the lane and he's exploding through it. And it looks like he is not afraid to take the blow. 2:50 to go in the half. Your Georgia Firebirds trail by 8. 1st and 10, spot the ball on the 21-yard line. Brooks is going to have to hurry. Play clock at 7. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. Pass is complete to Jupiter. Jupiter is going to be run into the dasher boards. And there we go. We got some fisticuffs, and we've got more flags on the ground that are flying at the United Nations right now. And it was inadvertent as one of the Vultures jumped back and bumped into Victor Moley. And for those of you who have never met Victor Moley is about a 330-pound Samoan, and he has a mean streak. He is one guy that I do not want to bump into in a dark alley. And somebody bumped him from behind, but there was no fisticuffs there, but it was just incidental. But the officials are trying to sort things out. And it's going to be interesting what the call is going to be. And they're going to flag your Firebirds with a 10-yard penalty. Tough break as Agent Zero made a great reception, and Coach Antoine Savage is trying to plead his case to the officials. But nonetheless, to no avail. Clock at 2:07. And Victor Mola is trying to get the crowd excited and into it. Brooks calling out the signal. Here's the snap. Brooks going to throw the quick screen to Ghost. Ghost makes a move to the 20, to the 15, and is going to be brought down just inside the 15. And that, to me, looks good enough for Georgia Firebirds first down. Great play call by Cecil Lester. He's a veteran of this indoor game. He has played arena football for 10 years. So he knows this game. 1:27 to go in the half. Waiting on the officials to say go. We have 14 seconds on the play clock. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He's under some duress. He eludes one. He throws it away smartly, incomplete. Bringing up a second down and 10. Spot the ball just inside the 15-yard line for your Firebirds. Smart, heady move by Brooks. That's something that was not done last week. And that was an adjustment the coaching staff has made with these players for the Firebirds this week in telling the quarterbacks if it is not available, if the receiver's not open, nobody's open, you have nowhere to go with the football, give the fans a souvenir, and that's exactly what Marcus Brooks Sr. did. Ball goes incomplete as we come down to 1 minute to go in the half, and we've got 1 minute timing rules in effect. And when I talk about the 1 minute timing rules, to give you a quick explanation on the 1 minute timing rule, during the regular time clock, the clock runs continuously except during timeouts. Even on incomplete passes, the clock stops. But during 1 minute timing rule, we follow regular NCAA rules. Brooks under center. High motion man is going to be Golston. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He's going to throw it out really quick to, it's going to be completed to number 21. And that's going to go to Antoine Frost with the reception. Frost gets it inside the 10-yard line. They're going to spot him at about the 8. With 55.4 seconds, he goes out of bounds. The clock stops. And once again, we talk about that 1 minute timing rule, 55.4 seconds to go, and that's what happens as Brooks once again under center. Play clock down to 10. High motion man is going to be Agent Zero. Here's the snap. Brooks is going to keep it, try to follow behind his fullback. He's going to get some positive yards. They're going to give him a yard, but the clock is going to continue to run. The clock is not running. The officials are saying start it. And fortunate for your Firebirds that the officials did not see that the play went off without the clock running. Your Firebirds trail by 8, but they are on the move. Clock is down to 35 seconds and counting. Firebirds have one timeout remaining. Brooks drops back in the back of the end zone. Pass is going to be caught. If he gets over, it's a touchdown. Touchdown, Firebirds. The rule in arena football, if you make the reception and you can get back into play, if you go over the wall to make the reception but get back into play, it's a touchdown. Golston with his first ever professional touchdown, and he wanted that football from the official. He's going to take that one home and put it in the trophy case. And I guess it might go along with one of those national championship touchdown balls he caught a few years ago with the Florida State Seminoles. The PAT attempt for the Firebirds is going to be no good. And we've got some more fisticuffs going on all over the field. But it was no good, as looks like the Firebirds are having some issues with the field goal snap. And we'll see if Coach Savage can work on some of that this week as he installed a new playbook. They blew up the old playbook completely, and he has started over from scratch. And in 3 practices, he has turned his team around, and they have been competitive in this one as they trail by 2, 20-18 with 23.6 seconds to go. Mitchell Jenkins is going to be the special teams coach. He's the special teams coach for your Firebirds, and he's calling out the play. And remember, one of the other rules in arena football in this league, they have an UNO rule. If you can, on kickoffs, put it through the goalpost, you get 1 point. But if it hits the netting and you attempted it, the ball is supposed to come out to the 20-yard line. And let's see what your Georgia Firebirds defense can do. They get a turnover early with an interception by newly signed Antoine Cuts. As we're waiting for the run-up, here's the kick. High, end over end. This ball's returnable. He takes it in the field of play to the 5. He got to run a steam. He's to 10, 15, 20, 25. But it's going to be met and brought down. Number 26, Alexander McCray on the return. Going to be brought down by Roman, a.k.a. Twin Morrow. So now the Vultures have some good field position with 15.4 seconds to go, and they're 22 yards away from the promised land. Chapman under center. He drops back, he falls, and he's going to get a sack. Give the sack to number 22, Mike Johnson, as it looked like Chapman got tackled by the turf monster. And with 11.3 seconds, the Atlanta Vultures are going to take a timeout. We've got a great ball game here. And if you're not at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center, man, you're missing a treat. I want to send a quick shout out to one of the folks who asked to give a shout out, number 13 for the Lee County Lady Trojans. Young lady stopped by the announce booth and said hi. Want to say hello to Kate Tabor, who is here at the game, and we've got all kinds of fans of all ages here. Chapman, once again under center. He's got motion. Here's the snap. Chapman drops back. He waits. He looks. He's going deep. And it's going to be incomplete. Great coverage by Antoine Cuts as he cut him off without interfering. Great coverage there as it is now 3rd down. And they're going to have to get close to downtown Tifton for a first down. That play was broken up nicely by Antoine Cuts. 6.6 seconds to go in the half. And it looks like the Firebirds are going to take their final timeout. You can't take them in the locker room with you. So that's going to exhaust their complement of timeouts with 6.6 seconds to go. We're going to keep it here. As you're enjoying Firebirds football, I want to let everyone know that the schedule for your Firebirds next week, kickoff time is at 7:05. So I want to remind everybody to go ahead and get your tickets early, as it's going to be a barn burner of a game as the Savannah Steam will come to town. So we are ready for the last 6.6 seconds. Chapman once again under center. Here's the snap. Chapman loses the football. Ball is on the ground, but Chapman doesn't recover. It's recovered by the Panthers. It's recovered by the Firebirds. As number 20, we're going to wait to see what the call is. Number 20 for your Firebirds, Chavis Jackson, was Johnny on the spot, rips the ball out before he hits the ground, so it still is a fumble. And if we can get a replay on that, it will be great to see, but we've got a flag on the field. Let's wait and see what the call is. And they're going to call an illegal formation on the offense. It is a touchdown. Chavis Jackson, Johnny on the spot, takes it in, and your Firebirds walk into the half with a 24-20 lead. A huge break as we've got a PAT attempt to go. And with all the issues that the Firebirds have had on extra points, I would say in this situation, go for two. And it looks like they are, as Cecil Lester is giving instructions to his quarterback. Chavis Jackson, Johnny on the spot, number 20 for your Firebirds, rips the football out of Chapman's hands as he was going to the ground, takes it in for a Firebird touchdown with no time remaining on the clock. And we're going to get a timeout by the Atlanta Vultures. And the Vultures are going to use their final timeout, as once again, you can't take those timeouts in the locker room. Your Firebirds lead 24-20. We're going to step away for about 30 seconds as you're enjoying Georgia Firebirds football on the Georgia Firebirds Digital Network and Rock 103. To attempt the PAT attempt as the Firebirds are going for two. Brooks fumbles the snap, but he gets away. He's going to make a move, throws it in the back of the end zone, only where his guy can get it. Pass falls incomplete. It is now officially halftime. And your score, Georgia 24, Atlanta 20. We're going to step away for a 90-second commercial break as you're enjoying the Georgia Firebirds on the Firebird Digital Network and Rock 103. Bay Civic Center as we are getting set for the second half of action. But once again, I want to challenge everybody within the sound of my voice who is going to be in the Albany area next Saturday. The Firebirds will take the field against the Savannah Steam. And I want to challenge everybody, if you want to bring out your tents, your campers, your grills, let's have make it a big party out in the parking lot before the game. We're going to get here early, and and don't forget, we had the Youth Indoor Football League. As they kick off, they're going to have week 2 Saturday. So not only while you're outside grilling and cooking some meat, come on in and enjoy it and support the youth here in the city of Albany, because the young folks need love too. We're about set to start the second stanza, and I am excited as your Firebirds are getting set to start the second half. Back deep for the Atlanta Vultures, it's going to be number 4, Pat Riley, and that looks to be number 10, Chris Payne. And we've got the music going saying, "Start me up." And I'm ready. We're set for the kick. And here we go. That ball goes deep, and it's going to be handled by Payne at the goal line. He's to the 5, he's to the 10. He makes a move, but can't get away. He cannot get away from number 20, Chavis Jackson, on the tackle. They're going to spot the ball and give him a generous spot at the 13-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Vultures. They trail by 4, and the the Firebirds right now want to make a statement as the defense, to finish the first half, gets a turnover and clocks it in for a touchdown. 24-20 to score, 14-10 remaining. We've got motion. Here's the snap. Throw underneath. Incomplete pass. As it looked like the ball might have touched the ground, and the officials say it does. Pass incomplete. 2nd down. Once again, the ball is spotted on the 13-yard line. Chapman under center. Here's the snap. He drops back. He's going to throw it underneath. Pass is complete to Mosiah Lightburn. Lightburn slips a tackle and takes the ball into Firebird territory. They're going to spot him down at the 21-yard line, and that looks good enough for a Vulture 1st down. 13 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Your Firebirds lead by 4. This time, Chapman in the gun, drops back. He's under some heavy duress. It is going to be sacked by all 4 pass rushers for your Firebirds. You watch on the replay, Chapman had nowhere to go with the football as Zach Brown, a.k.a. the Hitman, leads the charge and a sack. They would look like they were trying to set up the screen, but that pass rush got there too fast. 12 minutes, 10 seconds to go. This time, Chapman under center. He's got motion. Here's the snap. Chapman drops back. He pump fakes. He throws. Pass is going to be intercepted. Give that interception to number 8. Great play. Antonio Bearden jams the motion man, steps right in front of the pass. Chapman didn't see him, and your Firebirds come up with a defensive stop. Knowing Cecil Lester, I would say he is going to take a shot to the end zone right here. Brooks under center. High motion man is going to be Antoine Cuts. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits. He's under some pressure. He's going. He's got Cuts open. Oh, my. Just a little too deep. He had Cuts open. And I'm sitting here looking at the replay. And had he had another half a second to put it out there, Cuts would have had it, and it would have been 6. Checking out of the game, Cuts is checking out of the game, checking into the game. For your Firebirds is number 23, and that's Trevon Badger, a.k.a. Jumpman. If you remember, Badger was the ESPN Fox Sports highlight reel. Golston, the motion man. There's a fumble on the play, and we've got a flag, but it looks like Brooks recovered the fumble. And we're going to wait to see what the officials call. And they're going to call an illegal formation on the fullback, Zach the Hitman Brown. And I didn't really see what happened, but he must have started movement a little early. Here's a snap by Brooks. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. Got a man open, complete for the first down, but we've got a flag on the play. Let's wait and see as we watch the replay. Brooks looked like he had a little bit of trouble with the snap, but they're going to probably get the Panthers the Firebirds for holding, rather. And it looked like they're going to get big number 70, Omar Smith, for a hold. But let's wait and see what the officials call. And that was correct. Good call by the officials. Omar Smith on the hold as he's checking out of the game. Brooks once again under center. Agent Zero, Isaiah Jupiter coming in circle motion. Quick throwback to number 23, and the pass is complete. And that was Antoine Frost on the reception. He's going to pick up positive yards. It was a quick play. It was designed to be a misdirection. It's going to bring up a 4th down and a field goal attempt by the Firebirds. This field goal attempt is going to be a 28, a 35, make that a 35-yard field goal attempt. Here's the snap, the place down. Kick goes off of a helmet. And that field goal is going to be no good as it goes off a Firebird helmet, and we've got some more fisticuffs. So a tough break for the Firebirds as the defense got to stop. The field goal attempt went off the helmet of a player, And now it's first down and 10 on the Birds' 15-yard line. Prime real estate for the Vultures. Chapman once again under center. Here's a snap. Chapman fakes the handoff and is going to take it for a run, and he's going to be brought down, but not before gaining about 7 yards. They're going to spot him inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line, as it looked like it was a busted play, and he made something out of nothing. He must be related to my grandmother, because she made something out of nothing every day for dinner. Chapman calling out the signals for the Vultures. Here comes the motion man. Here's the snap. Chapman's going to give it to the fullback. Fullback tries to make a move, and he's going to be met, but not before picking up a few yards. But we got a flag back at the 12-yard line. And the way the Firebirds are pointing, it looks like it is going to be against the Vultures. I think they're going to call a hold. But let's wait to see what the white hat has to say. So a break for the Firebirds as the ball now goes back to the 13-yard line. 24-20 with 7:55 to go in the third quarter. Brooks once again. I stand corrected. That's Chapman at quarterback. Chapman takes snap, drops back. He's under a little bit of duress, throws it. Pass is almost intercepted. In and out of the hands of number 27. Pass in and out of the hands of 23, Trevon Badger, a.k.a. Jumpman. He almost had him one. And if he would have come down with that, if he would have gotten past those receivers, he might have been gone for a touchdown. Andre Slappy, the defensive coach, calling the signals. Chapman once again calling out the signals for the Vultures. Here's the snap. Chapman drops back. He's going to throw it over the top. Incomplete. And right there, hovering in the area for the Firebirds, was Antonio Bearden. And that was almost a huge play. And we've got an official timeout on the field. And they're going to say they're stopping play because Zach Brown, a.k.a. the Hitman, his jersey has just been ripped off of him, reminiscent of Hulk Hogan entering the ring in WWE days when he would just rip the shirt off of him, but another player ripped his jersey off. So there's going to be a number change for Zach Brown as they're trying to hurry to get a new jersey on him and get him back in play. There's been a number change. Zach Brown is now number 59. And the Firebirds are going to have to use a timeout as they had too many men on the field. So this is their first timeout. We've got 6:10 to go in the contest, well, in the third quarter. We've got a great ball game as your Firebirds still lead 24-20. And it is 4th down and 8. Spot the ball on the 13-yard line. And it's going to be interesting to see what Andre Slappy and Mitchell Jenkins and Antoine Savage are going to have dialed up, because Antoine Savage is giving some instructions to his defensive backs, making sure that everything is copacetic and A-OK. So here we go, 4th down play for the Vultures. Chapman drops back. He waits. He had a little bit of pressure, and that ball is almost intercepted, incomplete. Turnover on downs. And your Firebirds defense gets another stop and dodges a bullet. As it looked like there was almost a wide open receiver, as you had two defensive backs in the same area on one receiver, so it might have been a mix-up in coverage. And that's one thing that's going to happen when you're installing a new offense and you had less than a week to install an offense and game plan for another team. 5:48 to go in the third quarter. 24-20 your score. Brooks under center. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, throws a quick screen out to Golston. Golston couldn't pull it in, incomplete. Golston, had he made that reception on the run and turned, he might have been off to the races and showed you some Florida speed. However, he couldn't quite pull it in. Brings up a second down and 10. 5:17 to go in the third quarter. Brooks under center. High motion man. High motion is jump man. Here's the snap. Brooks tries to throw the screen, and it's going to be deflected and tipped. And going into the end zone for the Vultures that look like number 2, Jawan King. Tough break for the Firebirds as the defense got to stop. But the offense put them back in the hole. The Vultures take a 2-point lead. And now the big question right now, will they go for 2? And I say yes. And I see Telford Chapman coming onto the field. .450 to go in the third quarter. 26-20, Vultures lead by 2. 4 seconds on the play clock, and they're going to give it to the fullback, and there's a fumble. The Firebirds pick it up, and this is a live football. It could go for 2. And number 8, Antonio Bearden, Johnny on the spot, almost cashes it in for a 2-point conversion for the defense. So with that being said, it is still 26-20. We're going to step away for a timeout as you're enjoying Firebirds football on the Firebirds Digital Network and on Rock 103. I thank some of our sponsors, Albany Fish Company, who was one of the first sponsors to step on. We'd also like to thank Buffalo Rock Pepsi, 2 Commas, Clothing Apparel, Easy Copy, and once again, the Albany Fish Company. We're back to live action as we've got another brand new promotion by your Georgia Firebirds. And I think this is going to be like the beanbag toss. And it is. And we've got some great things going on. As the second beanbag goes out, I'm enjoying these new promotions. As Big Scoop from Cumulus Radio is hosting the on-field promotions, and a big shout out to him as he does he's doing a great job as he always does. 4:50 to go in the third quarter. Your Firebirds trail by 2. But that means nothing as Mr. Excitement himself, Rashad Golston, is back deep for the Firebirds. Looking forward to next week as the Savannah Steam come to town. The Atlanta Vultures are here today, and they're putting forth a great fight. And I want to remind everyone that the Firebirds will be back at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center next Saturday for a matchup against the Savannah Steam. Tickets are on sale, not now, but right now. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster or come by the Civic Center box office. And don't forget, you can pick up your Pepsi 4-pack. The Vultures have this teed up. And here's the kick, high. End over end. Golston is going to take it about a yard and a half deep in the end zone. He's to the 5, he's to the 10. He makes a move, he's to the 15. And it's going to be brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. They're going to spot him down at about the 18. That's first down and 10. 4:40 to go in the third quarter. So we've got a great ball game right now. But let's see what Coach Savage has dialed up right now. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is Isaiah Jupiter coming into circle motion into a trips formation. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits, looks, throws. Tries to throw it in between some tight coverage intended for Isaiah Jupiter on the play, bringing up a 2nd and 10. And I think that Cecil Lester calling the plays sees something, and he's trying to set something up as it's now 2nd down and 10 with 3:53 remaining. Golston this time will be the high motion man. Brooks calling out the signals. Here's the snap. He drops back, waits, looks. He's going for it all. He's got Golston wide open. Touchdown, Firebirds. Strike up the band. Rashard Golston makes it was a great throw, great catch. And like I said in the previous play, it looked like Cecil Lester saw something on that previous play, and he went exactly for the jugular. 30-26, your Firebirds have retaken the lead. The Firebirds are going to go for 2 here. Play clock down to 3, and the Firebirds are going to have to take a timeout. We've got a flag on the play. Let's see what the officials are going to call. They're going to say reset the play clock. No penalty. High motion man is going to be Golston. Once again, Brooks going to call out the signals. Here's the snap. Brooks had a little trouble handling it. Ball's inside. It's going to be caught. 2-point conversion is good. Great throw, great reception as the Birds make a move on the inside. And that pass goes to number 21, Antoine Frost. Does a great job in selling the out route, then steps in, makes the reception, cashes it in for 2 more points. The new score, your Firebirds lead 32-26 with 3:33 remaining in the third quarter. We've got a ball game, ladies and gentlemen, and I am excited to see your Firebirds with a lead. As right now, they dug themselves into a hole with week 1. We're not going to rehash any of that. It was a tough week for everybody. And there were changes galore all the way around from the roster all the way up to the coaching staff to some of the front office. So with 3:33 remaining in the third quarter, your Firebirds lead Also, I want to give a shout out to Antoine Savage, the head coach of your Georgia Firebirds, because he is going to be inducted into the Albany Sports Hall of Fame. So big ups to him and congratulations. 3:33 to go in the third quarter. We've got a good crowd here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. And we are seeing some Florida State chants around the arena, and that's for Rashad Golston. Because you see the tomahawk, and then I see some fans that are actually doing the Gator chomp. Okay, here's the kick. It's going to be returned. He's to the 15, he's to the 20, and it's going to be knocked into the dasher board. And one of the players has been knocked into the fans in the stands, and that's one of the things when you're on those dasher boards, it's tough. As we're going to watch the replay, and he makes the move, and one of the Firebirds, and we've got a flag, and I think they're going to say that one of the Firebirds launched themselves, which caused him to go into the stands. But we're going to wait to see what the officials are. I stand corrected. You got a hold on the Vultures, and that is a spot foul. So that penalty occurred about the 21-yard line. So after the 10-yard penalty, that puts them at the 11, first and 10. 3 minutes and 19 seconds, clock continuing to run. Here's the snap. Drops back, and it's going to be almost intercepted. Zach Brown just barely missed it, and he shows you his athleticism as he just barely misses an interception on a tip ball. So we watch Chapman throws it. It's going to be tipped by Antoine Cuts and almost picked off by the hitman, Zach Brown, as he shows you his athleticism. Zach Brown, an unbelievable talent. He is strong as a bull, but he's also one of the fastest guys on this team. He can play defensive back. He can play MAC linebacker. You've seen him at fullback tonight. You're going to see him some at defensive end. So he's going to be all over the place. Look forward to seeing Zach Brown this season. And the play clock expires. So we have a delay of game against the Vultures, so move them back 5 more yards. So that's going to put them at the 6-yard line. Second and 15. And that pass goes incomplete. On the coverage for the Firebirds was number 20, Chavis Jackson, who was there to knock that away, bringing up a 3rd down and 15. And there are not a lot of plays that you can call a 3rd and 15 for. So let's see what the Vultures have to call, and we're going to get a timeout. The Vultures are going to use their first timeout. That leaves them 2 for the rest of the way, as the play clock was down to 3 and they couldn't seem to get the play off. Andre Slappy letting that defensive line, those defensive coaches, those defensive players know, hey, we need to get a stop to try to start salting this game away. Mitchell Jenkins has stepped out on the field as well. And he works with the DBs, and he is trying to impart some knowledge on those DBs. But it's good to see Antoine Cuts back out on the field. And he's a DB that's been out there for a while. He can play wide receiver, but he's seen all the routes you can run in this indoor game. Chapman once again under center. He's got circle motion coming into a trips formation. Here's the snap. And they tried to run a shuffle pass, but it was blown up. And we've still got a few more fisticuffs as players. The tempers are getting a little short here, and that's what you want to see. We talk about it, and Andre Slappy talks about it all the time. He likes to see his defensive lineman and MAC linebacker have a little bit of a mean streak in them. You want to be a gentleman off the field, but when you come between these dasher boards, he wants you to leave it all out on the field. We've got about 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, but the play clock is down to 14, and the Vultures have not broke the huddle yet. Play clock at 8. The Vultures are going to have to hurry. Here's the snap. And it looks like it's almost, and it was almost a safety as Chapman was under some duress but was able to get the ball off. 8.1 seconds to go. Chapman throws it off of his back foot. The ball sails on him, incomplete. Bringing up, guess what? A turnover and a first and goal situation for your Firebirds. So now the defense makes a stand. So the play clock, the game clock is down to 3 seconds. Can they get the play out before the quarter? And we should have a penalty here, and we do. We've got a flag. As they tried to get the play off, but we're going to have an illegal defense and an offsides. So it's going to be a half the distance to the goal as we're getting set to start the fourth quarter. So that'll do it for the end of the quarter. We're going to take a commercial break as you're enjoying. I stand corrected. Are we going to have one untimed down? There's going to be one untimed down before the fourth quarter. So here we go. Rashad Golston's going to be the high motion man. Brooks changing the play. The hit man lines up. He's going to follow the hit man. It's going to be brought down for no gain on the play. And it's getting a little chippy out there as we bring the third quarter to a close. Your score, Georgia 32, Atlanta 26. You're enjoying AIF football on the Firebirds Digital Network and Rock 103. We'll be back. Stay tuned. Game is your Firebirds lead 32-26. We're in the fourth and final stanza of this huge showdown game against the Atlanta Vultures. It is second and goal. Ball spotted on the 2-yard line. The Firebirds have a chance to start putting some distance between them and the Vultures. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is going to be Agent Zero. Here's a snap. Brooks fumbles the football, but he We're going to wait and see as the officials, one official has signaled third down, but let's wait and see what the call is. They're signaling third down. The Vultures were saying they had it. And it looked like Victor Moley was down. He was motionless, but when you're at the bottom of that pile, the best thing to do is not to move because you might end up getting knocked down or something twisted or bruised or broken. Glad to see him up and about. 14-12 remaining in the fourth quarter. Third and goal. Ball is spotted on the 2.5-yard line. Brooks once again under center. The high motion man is going to be Golston. Here's a snap. Brooks drops back. He waits. He looks. Nobody's there. He's going to throw it to the back wall. It's going to be incomplete. And I thought Brooks might have wanted to try to run with it, but he held it just a bit too long. And I think that's what Coach Lester is telling him. You know, if it's not there, either put it in the stands or take it off and run with it. Don't hesitate and wait for something. If it's not there, get rid of it. That brings up a fourth down situation, and the Birds are going to attempt a field goal. This is going to be a 18 or 17-yard field goal attempt. Here's the snap, the place down. The kick is up, and it's going to be wide. No good. Score remains 32-26 with 13-14 remaining in the contest. We still got a game here. Eric Tabor bringing you all the action of your Georgia Firebirds. We have got a great football game. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center, and I'd like to thank everyone who's making this broadcast possible. All of the sponsors from Cumulus Radio to Good Life Vapor to McDonald's of Tifton, S&S Roofing, you know, Nash 102.1, sister station. We've got to thank all these people because they're making it happen. I also like to thank V101.7, all the Cumulus family for bringing us this great broadcast. Chapman once again. He's taking his time. The play clock was down to 6. They're going to reset the play clock. Chapman's going to take the snap. He looks. He's under immediate pressure, but it's going to be met. And there we go with another flag. And this might be an ejection on number 70. That's DeQuan Murray for a shove in the back, and that's going after a defenseless player. So we'll wait to see what the officials are going to rule here. That might cost him in the pocketbook come next week, as we got immediate pressure on the quarterback. He had nowhere to go. He had no pocket. The pocket collapsed, and as the officials rule, that was a penalty on number 70. As I said, DeQuan Murray, who had a who shoved the player in the back. As Chapman now under center. High motion man coming into circle motion to a trips formation. Chapman throws deep. We got a flag. And let's wait to see what the call is. I think the Firebirds are saying it's going to be holding against the Vultures. And the way I'm reading the body language of one of the Vultures' offensive linemen, number 76, and that's Barrington Harris. They're not going to call holding, but they're going to call he was not set. So that's going to bring up a second down, replay second down, but a half the distance penalty. Ball is now spotted on the 3 1/3 yard line. 12-18 to go in the contest. We've got a whale of a ball game as your Firebirds lead by 6. Chapman calling out the signal, just does get the playoff. He's under some duress in the end zone. He throws it. Pass is going to be complete. Completion to number 3. And that's Byron Mulkey, who was Johnny on the spot there. He sat down right in the middle of that zone, gets the completion, and is going to be brought down by Antoine Cuts. Ball's going to be spotted at about the 14-yard line, but it's still short of a first down. It's going to bring up a third down and about, I'm going to say 7. Chapman once again under center. Play clock has expired, so we got a flag on the play. They're going to call delay of game, so that's another 5-yard penalty. So that's going to bring up a third down at about 11, or well, we'll make it 12. Chapman once again under center. Here's the snap. Chapman drops back. He's going for it all. He's got a man open. It's going to be a catch and a touchdown. As they caught the secondary sleeping, you read it, Antoine Cuts, let him go, and he took the underneath guy. Well, Bearden let him go, rather, thinking that number 27 was going to have over-the-top coverage, and both of them came up in the middle of the field, and that's one of those things that you learn as experience, as you learn each other, and these guys have had less than a week to prepare for this game and to learn a whole new defense. So those things are going to happen as we've got a tie ball game now with 10:31 remaining in the quarter. Chapman under pressure. He's going to try to run it in, and he's going to be stopped short. The officials say he's short, so it remains a tie ball game. So Chapman, who was under some severe duress, couldn't make the play. So it's now 2-point conversion, no good, and we've got a tie ball game, 32 apiece with 10:22 remaining in the game. So I want to remind everybody, once again, I know I've repeated it several times, but we're going to have the second ever Firebirds home game next Saturday here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. Kickoff time at 7:05. But don't forget, we've got the Youth Indoor Football League, and our young people play during the day when we have arena football games here, and that's something that the Firebirds have also put together, and I want to invite everyone, because if you come out to the Youth Indoor Football games, that is absolutely free. So you can have a chance to cheer on some of the young future stars of Albany and support our youth. And I urge everyone, if you get the opportunity to come out and enjoy some youth indoor football, come on out. Don't forget, go ahead and bring out your grills. Go ahead and tailgate. Go ahead and bring your campers, because we'll be out here early with the TV cameras, and we're going to be doing some things, a lot of things this season to get you and the community involved. Here's the kick, high end over end. That ball is going to go out of bounds, and let's wait and see what the officials are going to call here, because if that ball goes out of bounds, it's supposed to be spotted, but they're going to spot it at the 10-yard line. So we've got the Georgia Firebirds with 10-10 remaining in the contest. 32-32. We've got a tie game. As Brooks trying to hurry up the offense. Play clock down to 4. 3. He's going to have to hurry. He gets the playoff. He drops back, throws quickly, passes to Golston. Golston, after the ball was tipped, makes the reception, picks up about 7 yards on the play. They're going to spot the ball, give him 8 yards. They're going to spot it at the 18-yard line. That's going to bring up a second down at about 2. 32-32 the score. A brilliant ball game so far. So if you're a Firebirds fan, you're biting your nails. Here we go. We got a fumble on the play. And the Vultures say they have it, and the officials agree. Vultures recover. A tough break for the Firebirds as the defense has to come out on the field again and try to dig in and get a stop. 9:22 to go in the contest. What can the Firebirds defense do here? If they can get a stop, a turnover, and cash it in for some points, that would be outstanding. Ball is spotted on the 17-yard line, first down and 10 as the play clock expires, but the Vultures take a timeout, and that leaves them with 1 timeout remaining. With 9:03 remaining, we're going to step away for about 30 seconds as you're enjoying Firebirds football on Rock 103. All right, welcome back as the Vultures have it here. And we got an interception, and this is the perfect storm of what we were looking for. Give the interception to number 8, Antonio Bearden, as we talked about the perfect storm being a stop or a turnover. Bearden comes up with the Firebirds' second interception of the day, third interception of the day, his second. Wow, if that doesn't qualify him for the Player of the Week for the AIF, I don't know what does. The Firebirds offense back out on the field now and have a chance to take a lead. It's going to be interesting to see what Coach Lester and company have up their sleeve with 8:45 clock running. Firebirds going right to left on your radio dial. Brooks once again under center. High motion man is Agent Zero. Brooks drops back. He's going for, and that ball is going to be knocked away. He threw it in double coverage, but we're going to get interference in the end zone. So great opportunity as the ball was thrown into double coverage. He took a chance. He put it only where Agent Zero Jupiter could get it. So let's see what the call is from the officials. That's going to be a pass interference call on Chris Payne. 10-yard penalty. That's an automatic first down. So now spot the ball at the 8-yard line, first and goal for your Firebirds. Columbus is beating Central Florida and other scores from around the AIF 80-28. The New Mexico Stars are winning 2-0. And the Philadelphia Yellow Jackets win 55-9. So those are scores around the AIF. And for all of your Firebird news, check out our website at www.georgiafirebirds.com. first down and 10. Ball is now spotted on the 12-yard line. 8:09, clock starting to run again. Let's see what Brooks can do here. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He's going to throw. Hits Agent Zero. Agent Zero slips away but couldn't quite get all the way into the end zone. He's going to be stopped short of the first down. He gets inside the 5. Spot him down at about the 4. That's going to bring up a second down and about 2. And knowing Cecil Lester like I do, I think it might be time to give it to the big fullback. Brooks under center, goes to the high motion man. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back, waits, looks. He's going to throw it over the center. Passes, batted down, and it's going to be intercepted. And he tries to get out of the end zone, but it's going to be met and brought down. A tough break for your Firebirds. If we could have that play over again, I think they would, because that was once again into double coverage. And when I see double coverage, usually that tells me somebody else is open, because there are 3 receivers, 3 defensive backs. So somebody had to be open somewhere. So score remains 32-32, 7-11 remaining in the contest. Clock continues to run. The Vultures are going to have to hurry. Play clock down below 9 at 8 and still running. Chapman, here's the snap. That pass is intercepted. Get up, run, man, run. Touchdown, Firebirds. Chavis Jackson with his second interception of the game. He gets a pick 6. And so now we've got 2 guys with 2 interceptions in this ball game. This is what you came to see at Firebird football. And if I might use a phrase from a famous movie, it's a celebration. The new score, your Firebirds 38. The Vultures from Atlanta 32. 6:20, clock continuing to run. And we've got a ball game right here. I'm excited to bring you all of the Firebird action this season. As Brooks once again loads the gun. Walson in motion. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He waits. He looks. He floats it over. And that pass is going to be incomplete. The 2-point conversion is no good. Score remains 38-32. 5:41 remain in the game. Man, I'm loving this game. As the score indicates, we've got a barn burner. 6 points separate these 2 teams. And don't forget, coming up next Saturday, we'll be right back here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center as your Georgia Firebirds take on the Savannah Steam. If you haven't been to a Firebirds game, boy, you're missing a treat. I want to thank once again the folks at Cumulus for bringing this game to you on the airwaves, Rock 103. Big shout out to Big Scoop as he is doing some of the promotions on field, and Jackson Riley is handling the PA announcing for your Firebirds. We are ready for some more action. As I wouldn't be surprised here if we tried an onside kick, but they probably have not installed that yet, as it's young in the season for this team and this coaching staff. Here's the kick. It's going to go short. It's going to be taken at the 15-yard line. And that was number 25 for the Vultures. And that was Eric Hagenberg, who runs the ball out to the 22-yard line, first down and 10 for the Vultures. And let's see if this Firebirds defense, which is playing some inspired football tonight, can come up with another stop and possibly salt this game away. I want to thank everybody who's tuning into the broadcast on Rock 103, and also want to thank everybody who's enjoying the game on the Firebirds Digital Network on SUTV. Chapman once again under center. We've got motion. Chapman drops back, tries to throw a quick one, and it's going to be batted, but it's almost intercepted. And that was dangerously close to Dominique Rich almost getting a pick six. He gambled, almost got it, but didn't quite get there. So a tough break for the Firebirds as the Vultures pick up a first down on the 17-yard line. Chapman once again under center. Chapman change the play. He moves his fullback. Chapman's going to drop back. He's under pressure and is going to be planted into the turf of the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. If you watch the replay, they were playing games and the tackle let the defensive end come free. That's why the fullback was on that side. The tackle did not know that the quarterback moved the fullback to the other side of the field, and he became part of the turf here at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. As a matter of fact, I still think I see his imprint on the field. Chapman once again under center. He's got circle motion. Here's the snap. And he eludes a rush, and they finally are going to blow the play dead. And we've got a flag on the play. And I think they're going to call a false start on the offense, but let's wait and see what the officials say. The officials are still discussing the call. So they're going to call a 5-yard penalty against the Firebirds. And that's going to bring up that's going to replay second down. So now that's going to make it roughly about 2nd and 10. 38-32 your score with 3:22 to go. Chapman once again under center. He's got that stacked trips formation look. He's under some duress, but he gets away, passes incomplete. He had 2 receivers in the area. That's going to bring up a 3rd down for the Vultures. And that's an interesting formation, and it's causing some problems with the Firebirds coverage scheme. And like I said, there's no excuse, but it took them, literally this team is learning new offense, new terminology in literally 3 days. And these players still aren't quite comfortable. So the Vultures are taking advantage. Here's the snap. Chapman throws it underneath. He passes complete. And that was complete to, it looked like number 3, Byron Mulkey. As Chapman took the snap, dropped back, just a 2-step drop, finds him. He settles down in the middle of that secondary, tries to make a move, but he's short of the first down, so that's going to make it a 4th down. So now it's 4th down and about 3. Chapman drops back, waits. He's under duress again. He throws in the back of the end zone. It's batted away. Incomplete. Turnover on downs. Your Firebirds defense holds with 1:30 remaining in the game. That was a huge stop by the defense. Now it's up to that Firebird offense to wrap this game up. 38-32 the score. A great ball game if you're a Firebirds fan. So now clock starting to run, 125, 124. The Birds need to hurry. Play clock is down to 10. Play clock down to 5. Brooks gets it off. Passes incomplete, intended for Agent Zero as we take it down to the 1-minute warning. So we've got 1 minute remaining in the contest. Ball is spotted on the 9-yard line. 1 minute to go in the contest. 38-32 your score. Firebirds desperately want to get a first down to wrap this game up. So we're excited as we're down to the last 1 minute of the contest. Brooks under center. They're going to give it to the fullback. The fullback gets positive yards, keep the clock running. They pick up a yard, so the clock continues to run, so it's going to be a Vultures timeout. And I think that's their last timeout. So that is the Vultures' final timeout. So all the Firebirds have to do from this point on is just get positive yards, and they'll run out the clock. So basically look for a quarterback sneak in this situation and just move the pile forward. 51.8 seconds, and I want to thank everybody for tuning into the broadcast as your Georgia Firebirds lead 38-32, 51.8 seconds to go. And if you're not here at the Albany Civic Center enjoying this celebration, you need to get here, as it looks like your Firebirds might get off the snide here if they can get positive yards. Brooks calling out the signal. We got motion. And let's see who it's going to be. The Vultures are pointing to the Firebirds. And they're going to call Omar Smith for offsides, and that's going to stop the clock at 51 seconds. But once again, all the Firebirds have to do is get some positive yards to keep the clock running. The Vultures cannot stop the clock in this situation. So 2 positive yards plays, and this game is in effect done. Brooks takes the snap. He drops back. He's under some duress and fumbles the ball into the end zone, but the Firebirds get it out of the end zone, falls forward. Great save by Omar Smith. And the clock will stop on negative plays. So we're down to 46 seconds. And it is now 3rd down. It is now 4th down, rather. So a tough break here for the Firebirds is you're going to have to, do you take a chance in a field goal? The Firebirds are going to take a timeout to talk it over and think it over. Let's take a 30-second pause for the calls as you're enjoying Firebird football on Rock 103. got, let's go, let me go ahead and paint the picture for you. The score is 38-32 in favor of your Firebirds. However, there's 46 seconds to go in the contest. The Firebirds have the football on their own 2-yard line, and it is 4th down. So right now, the Firebirds have got some decisions that have to be made. They're sending the kicker off the field. So the Firebirds are going to go for this on 4th down. An interesting and a dangerous play call. Brooks, here's the snap. Brooks drops back. He waits. So we're going to get an offsides on the Firebirds. Brooks is going to give him the safety, but we've got a flag, and it's going to be false start or illegal motion on the Firebirds. So let's wait and see. So the Firebirds will get a safety. They tried to run some time off the clock. So the lead for the Firebirds is now 38-34. An interesting play call, to say the least, by Antoine Savage and company. But it takes them away from possibly giving up a touchdown. So with that being said, the Firebirds will kick the ball off to the Vultures with 40 seconds to go. So it's all on the shoulders of that Firebird defense right now. So with the forfeit last week, the Vultures forfeited their game last week. So this is officially their first game of the season. So they have had their team and their system in place for about a month, while your Firebirds have had 3 days to put a new system in place. Here's the kick, high, end over end, back deep for the Vultures. Here we go. He's to the 5, he's to the 10, and is upended at the 15-yard line. Give the tackle to number 20, Chavis Jackson. Ball goes back deep, 6 yards into the end zone. And Chavis Jackson submarines the returner as the ball goes down to about the 16. They're going to put it out the 17-yard line. And right now, if the Firebirds defense needed that 9th man, it is right now. Here we go, 32.8 seconds to go. Chapman under center. He drops back, waits, he looks, he throws it under the middle of the field. Is it a catch? They're going to rule it a catch. And they're going to have to try to hurry up with 29.4 seconds. We couldn't tell from that angle, but it looked like that ball was coming out. Chapman drops back. He's under some duress. He throws. Pass is complete and is going to be knocked out of bounds. So the clock will stop. Spot the ball at the 10-yard line with 21.4 seconds to go in the game. The Vultures are going to call the play from the line. There's some confusion. As both offensive linemen have declared as tight ends. Chapman drops back, throws, passes complete. They say he gets into the end zone. Touchdown with 16 seconds to go. The new score. Your Georgia Firebirds trail by 2, 40-38 with 16.2 seconds to go. This game is not over yet. So here we go with 16.2 seconds to go. The Firebirds are in jeopardy of losing this one. Chapman once again under center. He has trips to his right. Chapman drops back. He's under some pressure. Ball comes out. The Firebirds recover, but could not advance it. Had they scored, it would have been a two-point conversion and tied it up with 10.7 seconds to go. So now, Antoine Savage is talking to the officials saying that there should not have been, the clock should not have been run on that play. So now they're setting the clock back to 16.4 seconds. Astute observation by the head coach of your Georgia Firebirds. Tough break as the Firebirds trail by 2. What will the Vultures do on this ensuing kickoff? The Firebirds only have really one of 2 shots. And the biggest of them is going to be a possible return for a touchdown. A field goal will win it. But the only negative has been the field goal kicking of the Firebirds has not been very good tonight. "16 seconds to go, 40-38 to score. The Vultures are set to kick this one off. Here's the kick, high, end over end. Ball's going to be fielded by Golston in the end zone. Golston is at the 5, he's to the 10, he's to the 15. It's going to be knocked into the dasher boards at about the 17-yard line. 7 seconds to go. That's going to be enough for 2 plays possibly. So let's see what happens. And I would bring out Antoine Cuts as Antoine Savage is once again talking with the officials. And here we go with 7 seconds to go. Brooks once again under center. Antoine Cuts, the high motion man. Here's the snap. Play clock. Down low. He's going to throw it deep. He's got Cuts in the back of the end zone, but we've got interference. And where's the flag on that play? Cuts was interfered with. They're going to rule it incomplete. 0.4 of a second to go. And if I could see a replay on that, it looked like it should have been a flag. But there's one more shot. But that was one of those plays where, and we've got a timeout by the Firebirds. So right now it looks like they're bringing the field goal unit out, but we're going to take a step away and take a timeout as you're enjoying Firebirds football on the Firebirds Digital Network and Rock 103. Civic Center, we've got 0.4 of a second to go in the contest. Your Firebirds trail by 2 points as Brooks comes under center. Here's the snap. Brooks drops back to play. He's under some duress. and is going to be brought down as the game comes to an end. Tough break for your Georgia Firebirds as they take one on the chin. Final score 40-38. We're going to send it back to studio control, and we enjoyed bringing you this broadcast. And we thank everyone for tuning in. Good night and so long from the Albany Civic Center. Your final score, Atlanta 40, Firebirds 38. We'll be back next Saturday, kickoff time at 7:05 at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center as the Georgia Firebirds will be set to take on the Savannah Sting. Hope you'll tune in next week. Good night and so long from the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center.